"Hey, come here, loser." His voice cut through the living room like a knife. I froze, my fingers tightening around the book I was pretending to read. What? I mumbled, hoping he'd forget I was even there. "You heard me. Stand up. Show me that face. Let me see it properly." He laughed, loud and sharp. The kind of laugh that made everyone else in the room glance at me, pity or amusement in their eyes. My mom stayed silent on the couch, her hands clutching her knitting. I didn't do anything," I stammered. "Didn't do anything?" He leaned forward, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "You didn't do anything in life either, kid. You're nothing. Just a shadow that walks around thinking it matters." I wanted to shrink, disappear, crawl under the rug. But something inside me, a spark I didn't know existed, flared. I'll show you one day," I whispered, barely audible. He smirked, shaking his head. "Show me? You're a joke. You'll never amount to anything. Just look at you, so timid, so weak. Even your mom, well, she's too soft to stop me from telling you the truth." Mom's eyes flicked to me, guilt swimming there. But she didn't speak. She never spoke when he did this. "I'm not." I tried again, but he interrupted with a sharp laugh. "Not what? Not pathetic. Not a failure. Trust me, kid, I've got the receipts. Every single one of them." I looked down at my hands, shaking. I wanted to argue, but the words got stuck in my throat. His laughter echoed in my ears as if sealing the label he had branded on me, nothing. Later that night, I stayed up in my room, staring at the ceiling. The words haunted me. Nothing. Worthless. Weak. I hated him. I hated that he could make me feel so small. And I hated myself for letting it happen. I crept downstairs when I heard voices from the living room. My stepdad was on the phone, his usual smug tone on full display. And then the kid said he wants to be an engineer. Can you imagine? His voice was cruel, amused. An engineer. Like he could ever pull that off. He's pathetic. Every time I see him, I think, why bother? I pressed myself against the wall, heart pounding. Every word was a punch to my chest. I couldn't believe he was laughing about me. About my dreams. He has no idea what real life is, he continued. I mean, honestly, the kid's a joke. But you know what? Maybe it's fun to watch him struggle. Makes me feel alive, you know. Alive. He felt alive by crushing me. My fists curled, teeth gritted, and I swallowed hard to keep from shouting. The next morning, at breakfast, his smugness didn't fade. You're late, he said, tossing a piece of toast at me. I caught it, not knowing if I should be angry or sad. Don't think you can sleep your way to success, Shadow Boy. The world doesn't owe you anything. I didn't respond. I stared down at my plate, tasting nothing. Mom's eyes met mine again, pleading silently. I wanted her to say something, anything. But the silence stayed between us, a wall I couldn't climb. Later at school, his words followed me. Every glance, every snicker from classmates felt like confirmation. I was invisible, worthless. Yet, the anger simmered beneath the surface. I couldn't just be his victim. I wouldn't. Not forever. That evening, I lingered by the window, watching him through the blinds as he talked to his friends in the yard. His voice was loud, full of pride at my supposed failures. He's trying to be something, but you know better, I heard him say. Nothing will come of him. I told your mom he's nothing. I clenched my fists so tight my nails dug into my palms. Nothing. Worthless. Weak. The words that had haunted me now fueled me. I swallowed my fear and made a silent vow. One day, he would see me. Not the weak, quiet shadow he thought I was. One day, he would see everything he underestimated, every ounce of strength he denied me, and he would fear it. For now, though, I stayed quiet. I listened. I planned. And I waited. I didn't say a word that night. Not to him. Not to anyone. But inside, something had shifted. I wasn't just the kid he laughed at anymore. I was a storm, quietly gathering, waiting to show the world, and him, what he could never crush. I went to bed that night with my heart heavy, but my mind sharp. I knew it wouldn't be easy. It would take time. It would take patience. But I also knew this. He had made a mistake. Underestimating me. Calling me nothing. And I would become everything he feared. "Hey, come here, loser." His voice cut through the living room like a knife. I froze, my fingers tightening around the book I was pretending to read. What? I mumbled, hoping he'd forget I was even there. "You heard me. Stand up. Show me that face. Let me see it properly." He laughed, loud and sharp. The kind of laugh that made everyone else in the room glance at me, pity or amusement in their eyes. My mom stayed silent on the couch, her hands clutching her knitting. I didn't do anything," I stammered. "Didn't do anything." He leaned forward, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "You didn't do anything in life either, kid. You're nothing. Just a shadow that walks around thinking it matters." I wanted to shrink, disappear, crawl under the rug. But something inside me, a spark I didn't know existed, flared. I'll show you one day," I whispered, barely audible. He smirked, shaking his head. "Show me? You're a joke. You'll never amount to anything. Just look at you, so timid, so weak. Even your mom, well, she's too soft to stop me from telling you the truth." Mom's eyes flicked to me, guilt swimming there. But she didn't speak. She never spoke when he did this. "I'm not." I tried again, but he interrupted with a sharp laugh. "Not what? Not pathetic. Not a failure. Trust me, kid, I've got the receipts. Every single one of them." I looked down at my hands, shaking. I wanted to argue, but the words got stuck in my throat. His laughter echoed in my ears as if sealing the label he had branded on me, nothing. Later that night, I stayed up in my room, staring at the ceiling. The words haunted me. Nothing. Worthless. Weak. I hated him. I hated that he could make me feel so small. And I hated myself for letting it happen. I crept downstairs when I heard voices from the living room. My stepdad was on the phone, his usual smug tone on full display. And then the kid said he wants to be an engineer. Can you imagine? His voice was cruel, amused. An engineer. Like he could ever pull that off. He's pathetic. Every time I see him, I think, why bother? I pressed myself against the wall, heart pounding. Every word was a punch to my chest. I couldn't believe he was laughing about me, about my dreams. He has no idea what real life is, he continued. I mean, honestly, the kid's a joke. But you know what? Maybe it's fun to watch him struggle. Makes me feel alive, you know? Alive. He felt alive by crushing me. My fists curled, teeth gritted, and I swallowed hard to keep from shouting. The next morning, at breakfast, his smugness didn't fade. You're late, he said, tossing a piece of toast at me. I caught it, not knowing if I should be angry or sad. Don't think you can sleep your way to success, Shadow Boy. The world doesn't owe you anything. I didn't respond. I stared down at my plate, tasting nothing. Mom's eyes met mine again, pleading silently. I wanted her to say something, anything. But the silence stayed between us, a wall I couldn't climb. Later at school, his words followed me. Every glance, every snicker from classmates felt like confirmation. I was invisible, worthless. Yet, the anger simmered beneath the surface. I couldn't just be his victim. I wouldn't. Not forever. That evening, I lingered by the window, watching him through the blinds as he talked to his friends in the yard. His voice was loud, full of pride at my supposed failures. He's trying to be something, but you know better, I heard him say. Nothing will come of him. I told your mom he's nothing. I clenched my fists so tight my nails dug into my palms. Nothing. Worthless. Weak. The words that had haunted me now fueled me. I swallowed my fear and made a silent vow. One day, he would see me. Not the weak, quiet shadow he thought I was. One day, he would see everything he underestimated, every ounce of strength he denied me, and he would fear it. For now, though, I stayed quiet. I listened. I planned. And I waited. I didn't say a word that night. Not to him. Not to anyone. But inside, something had shifted. I wasn't just the kid he laughed at anymore. I was a storm, quietly gathering, waiting to show the world, and him, what he could never crush. I went to bed that night with my heart heavy, but my mind sharp. I knew it wouldn't be easy. It would take time. It would take patience. But I also knew this. He had made a mistake. Underestimating me. Calling me nothing. And I would become everything he feared. Alex, your project. Are you serious? My lab partner's voice cracked, full of shock. I worked on it all week, I stammered, holding my notes tight. I thought it was good enough. Good enough. She shook her head. It's amazing. Did you see who's presenting it in front of the principal? I froze. I'm presenting, aren't I? Her face twisted. No, it's him. Him. My stepdad. What do you mean? I whispered. I heard the teachers. He said he wanted to show everyone who really made this happen. Alex, he's taking your credit. I felt the air leave my lungs. No, that's not. He can't. He didn't. He did, my partner said softly, squeezing my hand. I'm sorry. I tried to stop it. I bolted out of the classroom, heart racing. Every step felt heavier than the last. When I got home, he was lounging in the living room, a smug grin plastered across his face. Alex, he said, waving as if I were an annoying fly. Back so soon? Did your little friend tell you the news? I glared. You can't just. I already did. The principal loved my idea. Everyone loved it. You're lucky I let you participate at all. His voice dripped with mock generosity. I shook my head. You lied. You stole my work. I did all the research, all the calculations. This was supposed to be mine. He leaned back, laughing. Mine? It was mine the second I said it was. You really thought you could outshine me? Outshine me? Don't make me laugh. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something, anything, but I forced myself to stay still. Mom, why aren't you saying anything? She looked away, fingers twisting in her lap. Alex. I can't. You can't what? I snapped. Stop him. Tell the truth. Do something. She shook her head, tears brimming. I can't. He's too strong. I'm sorry. I felt my chest tighten. Betrayal came in waves. First his, now hers. I had no allies at home. No one to defend me. Only him, laughing at my misfortune, and Mom, powerless to help. I stormed out of the house and ran to the park, clutching my notebook. I needed air. I needed space. My anger bubbled into fury. Every humiliating word from breakfast, every dismissive look from my stepdad, every laugh at my expense, they collided inside me. Why does he get to do this? I muttered to myself. Why does he get to ruin me at every turn? A voice called out. Hey, Alex. You okay? I turned to see Ryan, jogging up to me. I saw the post on the school website. Your project. Your name isn't even on it. What happened? He took it. Stole everything I worked for, I said, voice shaking. No one cares. Not Mom, not anyone. I'm nothing. Ryan frowned. Don't say that. You are not nothing. He's just a coward hiding behind lies. You'll fix this. How? How do I fix being humiliated? How do I undo this? My hands shook as I spoke. Ryan knelt beside me. Step 1, breathe. Step 2, plan. You're smarter than him. Smarter than anyone who underestimates you. You'll find a way. I closed my eyes, the rage inside me like a firestorm. I can't believe he'd do this. My own stepdad. He's disgusting. He is. And you're not. You've got talent, Alex. You just need to make sure everyone sees it. Don't let him take what's yours, Ryan said, steady and calm. I nodded slowly. I can't believe I trusted him. I trusted him and I couldn't finish. The betrayal felt too sharp, too raw. Hey, Ryan said, gripping my shoulder. Don't let it break you. Let it make you stronger. You'll show him. You'll show everyone. But first, you have to focus. Don't lose yourself in the anger. I don't even know who I am if he's going to ruin everything I do, I whispered, voice barely audible. You're Alex. The guy who worked on that project all week, who solved problems no one else could. That guy is still in there. You just have to let him out, Ryan said firmly. I swallowed, trying to steady my breath. You really think I can recover from this? I know you can. You're smarter, faster, better. He doesn't see it yet, but he will. I clenched my fists, the notebook tight in my hand. I'll show him. I'll show everyone. He'll regret ever underestimating me. That's the spirit, Ryan said, smiling. Now, let's start plotting your comeback. Step 1, rebuild. Step 2, strike back smarter than he ever imagined. I nodded, a small spark of hope flickering amidst the anger. Yeah, step 1. I'll rebuild. I'll prove it's mine. I won't let him win. Later at home, my stepdad was bragging to his friends again. See, that kid. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I handled it for him. He wouldn't know what to do without me. I clenched my jaw, listening quietly from the hallway. Every word he said was fuel. Every smug laugh was a reminder of what I was fighting against. Mom peeked at me as I passed by her in the kitchen. Alex. I'm sorry. You don't have to say anything, I said, walking past. Just watch. That night, I lay in bed, eyes open. My anger had shifted. It was no longer just pain, it was resolve. I would not stay broken. I would not let him define me. I whispered into the darkness, You think you've destroyed me, but you've only started something. I'll come back, and you'll see. You'll see everything you underestimated. You'll regret it. The betrayal had shattered me. But from the shards, a fire began to burn. And I promised myself, quietly and fiercely, that I would become everything he never expected. I sat at my desk, staring at the blank page. My hands trembled, not from fear, but from anger. The betrayal still burned, but this time, it wasn't paralyzing me. It was fueling me. I can't just sit here and let him win, I muttered to myself, flipping open my notebook. You're finally talking to yourself again, a soft voice said. I looked up to see Mia standing in the doorway, her notebook clutched to her chest. Hey, I said, trying to hide the notebook. I wasn't talking, really. You were, she said with a small smile. And it sounded like fire. You okay? I will be. I'm done being a victim, I said, tapping the notebook. I need a plan. Mia tilted her head. Plan? Revenge. I shrugged, a bitter laugh escaping. Maybe. Not just revenge. Justice. I need him to see that I'm not the nothing he made me out to be. Sounds intense, she said. But if anyone can do it, it's you. You just need to focus. I nodded, heart racing. Focus. Right. That's step 1. Later that week, I started noticing every detail of his life. How he bragged at work, how he left his accounts unsecured, how he depended on others for his own success. Every weakness I saw, I logged mentally. Every arrogance, every smug smile, became a target. At dinner, he leaned back, swilling his drink. Alex, you're awfully quiet these days. Plotting, are you? I forced a casual smile. Just thinking, that's all. Thinking won't get you far, shadow boy, he said. But it's cute watching you try. Mom looked down at her plate, avoiding eye contact. I caught her gaze later. A flicker of pride passed through her eyes. She knew I was changing. She just couldn't interfere. That night, I stayed up, studying everything Ryan had taught me. Calculations, strategy, logic puzzles. Each solved problem felt like a small victory, a secret rebellion he would never know about. Why am I even doing this? I whispered, rubbing my temples. Is it right to plan against him? Am I becoming like him? Mia's voice echoed in my memory. Focus on yourself. Don't let him define you. I exhaled slowly. Yeah, this isn't about becoming him. It's about proving I'm not nothing. The next day at school, I started making quiet alliances. Classmates who admired my work, teachers who noticed my effort. I wasn't loud about it. I didn't need to be. But I needed support. People who saw my potential and would back me up when it counted. Alex, you're really stepping up, Ryan said after one tutoring session. You've got fire now. Don't lose it. I won't, I said, gripping my pencil tighter. I need to be smarter than him. Better. Patient. At home, my stepdad noticed. You've been sneaky lately. Studying late, plotting, scheming. I forced a laugh. I guess I like working hard. Something you wouldn't understand. He frowned. Don't get cocky, kid. One wrong move and you'll regret it. Yeah, I said quietly, meeting his gaze. Maybe. But maybe one day you'll regret underestimating me. He blinked, clearly taken aback. I smiled faintly, hiding the satisfaction it brought me. Mia stopped by later with a stack of notes. I figured you could use these. Some tips on logic and strategy. I took them carefully. Thanks. I can't tell you how much this helps. You don't have to, she said, shrugging. Just promise me you'll be careful. Don't let anger control you. I looked down, torn. Anger was the fuel, but I needed discipline. I promise, I whispered. That night, I sat by the window, looking at the street below. Stepdad's laughter echoed from the living room as he entertained his friends. Every boast, every smug grin, was a reminder of the plan I had to execute. I muttered to myself, I won't confront him yet. Not now. Let life teach him. Slowly. The thrill of the unknown gave me chills. Every move I made, every secret victory, was a step toward power, toward reclaiming control of my life. I would rise quietly, then strike where it hurt the most. At school, I shared small wins with Ryan and Mia. I solved that impossible equation, I said, grinning. You're unstoppable, Ryan said. Just keep building. Every victory counts. Mia nodded. You're doing great, Alex. Just don't lose yourself in revenge. Remember why you're doing this. I know, I said. It's not just revenge. It's proving I'm worth something. And one day, he'll realize exactly what he's lost. At home, I overheard him bragging to his friends again. That kid. Still clueless. Nothing's changed. I've handled everything he tried to do. Easy. I clenched my fists. The fire inside me roared. You think you've won? Not even close. Mom glanced at me later, quietly. Alex, you're changing. I can see it. I'm proud. I'm just getting started, I said, voice low but firm. I'll show him. I'll show everyone. And when I do, it won't just be success. It'll be proof. Proof that he was wrong. That I'm not nothing. That night, lying in bed, I traced the plan in my mind. Patience, strategy, careful moves. Revenge wasn't a single act, it was a journey. And I was ready to walk every step, no matter how long it took. I whispered into the dark, I'm not afraid. I'm ready. And one day, you'll regret ever doubting me. The anger was still there, but now it was focused. It wasn't blind. It was a weapon, sharpened and ready. And for the first time in my life, I felt in control. Not of him, yet, but of me. And that made all the difference. I stood in the hallway outside the auditorium, heart pounding. Today was the day. Not a confrontation, not yet, but my first strike. Subtle, precise. A whisper of the revenge I had been planning for months. Alex. You look tense, Mia said, walking up beside me, her notebook clutched like a shield. I'm fine, I said, forcing a casual grin. Just ready. Ready to prove him wrong, she asked softly. Exactly, I muttered. Ready to show him that he can't control everything. Inside, the auditorium buzzed with chatter. Parents, teachers, and students were all waiting. And there he was, my stepdad, leaning against the wall like he owned the place, smirking as always. He didn't know I had a little surprise ready for him. When my turn came to present, I stepped onto the stage, shaking slightly but hiding it behind a confident smile. "Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex," I began, voice steady. "And today, I'll be presenting my science project." A ripple of surprise ran through the audience when I revealed the project results that he had tried to claim as his own in the past. I glanced at him. His smile faltered. That's my project," he barked suddenly, leaning forward. "No, it's mine," I said calmly, flipping through my notes. "All the research, calculations, and experiments were done by me. You might want to check the records before making claims." "Records? What records?" he demanded, his voice rising, a hint of fear creeping in. I pressed a button, and the projector displayed emails, drafts, and timestamps, proof that the work belonged to me. The audience murmured, eyes wide, whispers spreading like wildfire. This can't be," he stammered. I smiled, a small, triumphant curve of lips. "It can. And it is. You thought you could take credit for my work. But you forgot one thing. You underestimated me." He stumbled backward, speechless, glancing at the documents. For the first time, his arrogance faltered. Confusion, panic, and a hint of fear danced across his face. You've done this how?" he finally managed, voice trembling. I worked hard," I said, shrugging casually. "Something you apparently don't understand." Mia nudged me from the side. "Look at him," she whispered. "He doesn't know what hit him." I chuckled softly. "Exactly." He straightened, trying to recover, but the room was already buzzing with excitement over my project. Teachers congratulated me, students whispered admiration, and even some of his allies in the back frowned, exchanging guilty glances. How did you?" he began, but no one was listening. I walked off the stage, feeling a rush I hadn't felt before. Exhilaration, satisfaction, justice, it all rolled together like a storm in my chest. I caught Mia's eye, and she gave me a proud, knowing smile. You did it," she whispered when we were outside. "I did," I admitted. "And it feels incredible." At home that evening, Mom's gaze followed me as I entered the kitchen. "Alex, that was impressive." "I didn't know you had it in you," she said quietly, almost afraid to speak the words. "I've always had it," I replied, a faint grin forming. "I just needed a chance to show it." She smiled softly. I'm proud of you. Really." The words hit me harder than I expected. Her approval, long silent, finally felt real. I thought about my stepdad, how he must be fuming, trying to spin the situation, trying to convince himself he was still in control. But for the first time, he wasn't. For the first time, I had the upper hand. Later, I overheard him on the phone, voice tight and clipped. "I don't understand. How did he get those records? Everyone says it's his work, but it can't be. He's just a kid." I leaned against the hallway wall, listening quietly. Every word, every stammer, every falter in his tone was a victory. I didn't need to gloat aloud. Life was doing it for me. Mia joined me, her presence steady. "He's shaken," she said. "Do you realize that?" "I do," I replied, feeling a thrill run through me. "And it's just the beginning." Today was small, but it mattered. I mattered. At dinner, my stepdad avoided my gaze entirely, focusing on his plate like a child caught in a lie. Mom watched him quietly, eyes flicking to me with pride and relief. "You're growing up fast, Alex," she said softly later, when he left the room. "I see it now. I see the fire in you." "I'm not done yet," I said, feeling the determination coil tighter in my chest. Today, it's just the first strike. I'm only getting started." Mom nodded. "I know. And I'll be here, watching. I can't stop you, but I will support you." That night, I sat by my window, replaying the auditorium scene in my mind. His faltering, the audience's applause, Mia's proud smile, it all felt like electricity running through me. "You thought you could crush me," I whispered to the darkness. You thought I'd stay down, silent, invisible, but look at me now. This is just the start. I imagined his face, contorted with disbelief, panic, and confusion. The idea of him realizing he had underestimated me, it sent a shiver down my spine. Mia's words lingered in my mind. Don't let anger control you. I nodded to myself. Anger was fuel, yes, but control was mine now. Focused, precise, patient. My notebook lay open beside me, scribbled with strategies and plans. Step by step, move by move, I would reclaim what was mine. And when I struck again, it would be even bigger, impossible to ignore. I whispered, today was the first strike. Tomorrow, the next one. And one day, you'll wish you never doubted me. I closed my eyes, feeling a fire I hadn't known before. The first strike was mine, but the war was just beginning. I watched from the cafe window as my stepdad stormed out of the office building, his face red, hands shaking with frustration. For the first time, he looked small, vulnerable, human. Looks like someone's losing their grip, Ryan muttered beside me, sipping his coffee. I know, I admitted, though a part of me twisted at the sight. Seeing him unravel, it felt wrong. But another part, a darker part, felt exhilarated. He tried to manipulate your teacher? Mia asked, eyes wide. I nodded. He called her yesterday, tried to convince her I cheated. He wanted to get me disqualified from the science competition. Did it work? Ryan asked. I shook my head, smiling faintly. Not at all. She laughed at him, actually. Told him to stop wasting her time. I think he's realizing I'm not easy to control anymore. Later that evening, he cornered Mom in the living room. I was in the kitchen, pretending to pour water, but I overheard every word. You need to make him see reason, he snapped. Alex is spiraling. He thinks he's clever. You have to help me, he's too stubborn. Mom's voice was quiet but firm. I won't manipulate him for you. He's learning on his own. You need to face the consequences of your actions. What? He turned, panic flashing across his face. Consequences? He's my stepson. He's supposed to obey. And he will obey when he's ready. Not when you demand it, Mom said, a strength I hadn't realized she had. I leaned against the doorway, listening, my heart hammering. The power balance was shifting. I could feel it, and it scared me as much as it thrilled me. The next day at school, whispers followed him too. He had called some of my peers, trying to turn them against me. Did he seriously call you? I asked Marcus, one of the kids he tried to manipulate. Marcus laughed, shaking his head. Yeah. He told me to watch out for you, said you're a troublemaker. But, everyone knows you're not. Honestly, I think he's making himself look worse. I grinned. Exactly. That's the point. Mia leaned closer. Are you enjoying this? I bit my lip, conflicted. I don't know. I hate that I feel satisfied seeing him stumble. But he caused so much pain. Maybe this is karma. Ryan nodded. It's natural to feel that way. Just don't lose sight of why you're doing it. You're not trying to hurt him out of cruelty, you're reclaiming your life. I exhaled slowly. Yeah, reclaiming. That's the word. Later, I ran into my extended family at the weekend gathering. I noticed the subtle glances my stepdad was getting, the raised eyebrows, the whispered conversations. They were questioning him now, doubting his stories, his reputation. He cornered me near the punch table. Alex, I don't know what you're trying to do, but... Trying to do? I asked, calm but icy. I'm just living my life. Something you seem incapable of understanding. You think you're better than me, he snapped. I don't think. I am, I said quietly. And you'll see it, whether you like it or not. He flinched at my tone, and I knew I had struck a nerve. Later that evening, I overheard him on the phone again. No, you don't understand. He's out of control. He's ruining everything. You need to help me fix this. I leaned against the wall, listening, a mixture of guilt and triumph swirling inside me. He was desperate, grasping at straws, and it was satisfying. Mia found me later, notebook in hand. "You're glowing," she said softly. "I don't know if glowing is the right word," I admitted. "I feel powerful, I guess. But also guilty. Part of me worries I'm taking things too far." "That's normal," she said, putting a hand on my shoulder. "Just remember your goal. This isn't personal revenge. It's about standing up for yourself, for your future." I nodded. "You're right. I have to stay focused. No mistakes. No letting him manipulate the narrative." At home, he avoided me entirely. I caught him pacing in the living room, muttering under his breath. Every so often, he would glance at me, eyes narrowing, and then look away, like he didn't know how to face the storm he had helped create. Mom quietly joined me in the kitchen. "Alex, I've never seen him like this. You've changed the balance of power. I'm proud of you." I felt a flicker of warmth, a reassurance. "Thanks, Mom. I just hope I'm doing this right. I don't want to hurt people in the process." "You're careful. That's what matters. You're not reckless. You're deliberate," she said softly. The following week, at school, I noticed a shift in my peers. Some of the kids who had previously followed him or his influence began siding with me. "Alex, sorry for doubting you before," one of them said quietly. I see now. You've got this. Don't let him intimidate you." I smiled faintly. "Thanks. That means a lot. Just stick to the facts. Truth always wins." Even my rival, someone who had tried to compete with me, approached later. "I've been watching. You're not bluffing. He's losing control. Respect." I nodded. "Thanks. This isn't about respect yet. It's about correcting what's been wronged." That night, I lay in bed, reflecting. Stepdad's life was unraveling, professionally, socially, and emotionally. I should feel guilt, I knew that. But the truth was, I felt exhilarated. He had built his life on manipulation and arrogance, and now he was flailing, realizing he couldn't dictate my path. I felt a strange mix of triumph and moral conflict. I whispered to the darkness, "You underestimated me. You mocked me. You tried to crush me. And now, life is showing you the consequences. But I'll remain careful. I won't become what you are. I'll rise, without losing myself." The fire inside me burned brighter than ever. Stepdad's downfall was approaching, and I was ready to see it through. But I would do it smartly, deliberately, ensuring that every move counted. Karma was unfolding before my eyes, and I was both witness and architect. I found him in the study, alone, papers scattered across the desk. He looked up as I entered, surprise flickering across his face. "Alex, what are you doing here?" His voice was sharp, defensive. "I came to talk," I said, closing the door behind me. My hands shook slightly, but my voice was steady. "To finally talk." "Talk," he laughed, a brittle sound. "After everything, what could you possibly have to say?" "Everything," I said, stepping closer. "All the years, all the words, all the times you told me I was nothing. I've carried them, and now, you're going to hear them." He raised an eyebrow. "You think shouting at me changes anything?" I shook my head. "Not shouting. Honesty. Raw, unfiltered truth. Do you even know what you did to me?" He leaned back, trying to mask discomfort. I disciplined you. I guided you. Guided me." I spat, taking another step. "You humiliated me. Called me worthless in front of everyone. Took credit for my work. Mocked my future. You destroyed my confidence, piece by piece." His face hardened. "Alex, I did what was best. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I cut in, my voice rising. "I understand that you wanted to control me, crush me, make sure I never surpassed you. And for years it worked. I pretended, I endured, I learned to hide my anger. But you underestimated me completely." He opened his mouth, but I continued. "Do you know what it feels like to be invisible? To be constantly torn down by someone who should have protected you. He flinched, though he tried to hide it. I thought you needed guidance. Guidance. I laughed bitterly. Guidance doesn't come with insults. Guidance doesn't come with lies and humiliation. Guidance doesn't make a child feel worthless every single day. He ran a hand through his hair, shifting uncomfortably. Alex. No, I said sharply, raising a hand. You don't get to interrupt. You don't get to explain. You get to listen. I took a deep breath, voice lowering slightly, but every word still sharp. I've worked hard. I've learned. I've grown. Every victory, every achievement, every ounce of recognition I've earned, it's mine. And you? You thought you could steal it, take it, claim it as yours. But you can't. You never could. His eyes widened. Alex. I didn't. You did. Every single time. I stepped closer, voice trembling with a mix of anger and relief. And now you see it, don't you? You see that all your arrogance, all your cruelty, it didn't break me. It built me. You created your own undoing. He swallowed hard, finally silent, eyes darting around like he was searching for a way out. I know you think I'm just a kid, I continued, voice cold but steady. But look at me. Look at what I've become. Stronger. Smarter. Unstoppable. You thought I'd stay small. Invisible. Silenced. But you were wrong. So wrong. His lips pressed into a thin line. Alex. I shook my head. Save it. Your apologies don't erase years of pain. Your excuses don't fix what you broke. But I don't need you to fix me. I've already done that. I've already become everything you feared I could be. A tense silence filled the room. I could see it in his eyes. Confusion, fear, and maybe even regret. But it was too late. Too late for redemption. Too late for excuses. He began again, voice shaking. Don't, I interrupted. This isn't about you anymore. It's about me. My life. My victories. My power to stand tall despite everything you tried to do. He leaned back in his chair, defeated, the bravado gone. I didn't realize. Of course you didn't, I said softly. That's the problem. You never realized the impact of your words, your actions. You never saw me as capable, as worthy. And now you see, and it's too late. I took a step closer, lowering my voice to a whisper. I am everything you thought I'd never be. I am your nightmare in human form. And I owe you nothing. Not apologies. Not mercy. Not recognition. You underestimated me. You humiliated me. And now, you'll remember my name. Not for what you did to me, but for what I became because of you. He didn't respond. The silence was deafening. Finally, I turned, walking to the door. I paused, looking back once. Remember this moment, I said. Remember that the boy you called nothing became everything. Everything you feared, everything you never saw coming. I closed the door behind me, leaving him alone with his thoughts, his arrogance shattered, and the realization that he had created the very storm he tried to control. Outside, I leaned against the wall, letting the adrenaline fade. Relief and exhilaration mixed in my chest. I had confronted him. I had spoken the truth I'd kept inside for years. And for the first time I felt free. Mia's hand found mine, squeezing it gently. You did it, she said. I did, I whispered, exhaling slowly. I finally did. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't just standing up to him. I was standing tall, for myself. I stood at the balcony of my new apartment, watching the city lights flicker below. It was quiet, almost serene, and yet, inside me, a storm of memories and emotions swirled. I had made it here on my own terms, and for the first time, I felt the weight of every insult, every betrayal, every humiliating word lift off my shoulders. You okay? Mia's voice startled me. She leaned against the railing beside me, her notebook tucked under one arm. I think I am, I said slowly, letting out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. It's hard to explain. I've worked so long, fought so hard, and now, it feels like I'm finally standing in my own life." She smiled, eyes shining. "I've watched you change, Alex. From the boy who was crushed under his stepdad's shadow, to the man who built his own light. You've become incredible." I chuckled softly, shaking my head. Incredible? Maybe. But it didn't happen overnight. It was every step, every choice, every silent moment of planning. Every time I decided to rise instead of break. "You've earned it," she said. "No one can take it from you." I leaned back against the railing, letting my mind wander to him, my stepdad. I remembered the fear in his eyes, the way his arrogance crumbled under the weight of truth and patience. I whispered to the night, "You thought I'd stay small, invisible, silent. You thought I'd never succeed. Look at me now. I've become everything you feared." Mia nudged me lightly. "And how does it feel?" I closed my eyes, savoring the thought. Empowering, liberating, but peaceful too. I could destroy him completely, make sure he never recovers, and part of me wants to. But I choose not to. That's my victory. My control isn't in revenge anymore. It's in my life. My choices. My success. She nodded slowly, understanding. "You've grown far beyond him." I opened my eyes, letting the city lights reflect in them. "I've also grown beyond the anger, beyond the humiliation. I've built alliances, friendships, even love. Real connections. Not the fear and manipulation he thrived on." Mia's hand brushed against mine, a comforting anchor. "Alex, you've truly become whole. And anyone who doubted you, they'll have to face the fact that you were never nothing." I smiled faintly, thinking of the last time I'd seen him, his face pale with realization, his ego shattered. That memory brought a bittersweet thrill. "Do you ever think about him?" Mia asked quietly. "Sometimes," I admitted. "I remember the pain, the frustration. But I've learned to separate him from me. He doesn't define who I am anymore. He just exists in the past." Her eyes softened. "That's wise. Most people never get that far." I nodded. "I had to get here. Every step, every setback, every moment of betrayal, it shaped me. It made me deliberate, patient, stronger. And now, I can finally say I am free." Later that week, I attended the award ceremony for my latest project, an initiative that had earned recognition across the city. I stood on the stage, accepting the plaque, and felt a swell of pride that had nothing to do with proving him wrong, and everything to do with proving myself right. "You've come a long way," Ryan whispered as he handed me the award. "I knew you had it in you." "Thanks," I said softly. "I couldn't have done it without your guidance, your support, without anyone who believed in me when he tried to bury me." Mia leaned in, whispering, "And you've done it. You've shown the world, and yourself more importantly, that you're unstoppable." I smiled, thinking of him once more. My stepdad, the man who had underestimated me for years. I imagined him now, watching news coverage, realizing he had nothing left to manipulate, nothing left to claim. I whispered softly, "I don't hate you anymore. But you'll never forget me." That evening, I invited Mom over to my apartment. She looked around, eyes wide, impressed but gentle. "Alex, this is incredible," she said, voice soft. "You've built this life, and you've done it all on your own terms." I smiled, feeling the warmth of her approval finally unburden me. "It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And I hope you see now. I'm more than what he said I was. I'm more than what he tried to make me believe." Tears welled in her eyes. "I see it now. Every day I worried, but you've become everything I hoped for you, and more. I'm proud, Alex. Truly proud." The words cut through every scar he had left behind. I held her hand, feeling the bond we had preserved through the chaos. A few days later, I ran into him at a social event, the kind where appearances mattered more than truth. He froze when he saw me, eyes widening. I could read every reaction: fear, regret, disbelief. "You," he stammered, voice tight. I didn't expect." "You didn't," I said calmly. meeting his gaze. "And that's the point. I'm not here to fight you anymore. I'm here to live my life. You can watch it, but you'll never control it." He swallowed hard, finally finding words. "Alex, I'm sorry." I shook my head. "Your apologies don't matter. My life, my choices, they're mine. And that's how I'll continue. I've grown beyond fear, beyond control, beyond your shadow." He lowered his gaze, understanding at last the depth of his failures. I could see it, the crushing weight of realizing he had created the very strength he sought to suppress. Walking away, I felt lighter than I had in years. The fear, the anger, the obsession with proving myself, they were all gone. In their place was calm, confidence, and peace. Mia caught up to me, smiling. "You did it. Every step, every moment. You became exactly who you were meant to be." "Yes," I said quietly. "I became everything he feared. And yet, I chose my own peace over vengeance. That's the real victory." Ryan appeared beside us, nodding. "You've transformed, Alex. Not just in skill or success, but in heart and mind. That's rare." I looked back one last time, imagining him, my stepdad, left with regret, fear, and the realization of what he had lost. I felt no triumph over him, no gloating. Only the satisfaction of knowing I had risen, not by tearing someone down, but by building myself up. I whispered to myself, This is who I am. Strong, independent, unstoppable. And nothing can take that away." Later, sitting with Mom and Mia, I reflected on every step of the journey. The humiliation, the planning, the small victories, the confrontations, the growth. Every moment mattered. Every moment had led me here. "I feel complete," I admitted quietly. "I've faced everything, endured everything, and now I can truly say I am whole. And I finally forgive myself for all the doubt I ever had." Mia squeezed my hand. "And that's what makes you powerful. Not revenge. Not fear. Your strength is in your choices, your resilience, your heart." I smiled, feeling the truth of her words. "You're right. This journey, it wasn't about proving him wrong. It was about proving myself right. And now, I'm living that truth every day." The city lights shimmered outside the window, and I leaned back, closing my eyes. Every scar, every tear, every sleepless night had led to this: freedom, peace, and undeniable self-worth. I whispered one final time, not to him, not to anyone else, but to myself, "I am everything he feared, and I am everything I always dreamed to be." For the first time, I wasn't just surviving. I was thriving. And that was the real victory.